Game Freak is a huge company, but over the years, a couple of competitors of Pokemon have made them sweat. So today, I'm exposing the top 5 Pokemon-like or fan games that can compare to the level of Pokemon games. And I couldn't make a list like that without talking about the punching bag of Nintendo. This game made Game Freak so afraid they had to sue them, and of course that game is Palworld. Obviously, this indie game is the most popular reference when talking about Pokemon-like games. So much so that Game Freak themselves were afraid by this actual game. But why is it so good? Simply for its open world, its beautiful graphics, and all the functionalities included in this awesome survival game. It also kind of matches Pokemon and Arc, which people love, I guess. Weirdly enough, the fact that Palworld is a bit more violent and has guns included in it augmented the actual audience of the game. Trust me, if there weren't any factory, any guns, any gears that you can place on your pals, there wouldn't be as much as interest for this game. But many pals actually resemble Pokemon a lot, and Pokemon remarked that, and they decided to sue Palworld. At first, it was about stealing Pokemon models, which honestly I don't mind. These pals actually really resemble normal Pokemon. But now Nintendo crossed the line. They sued Palworld for concepts such as throwing ball-like objects at creatures, or using land, hair, or sea mounts, and much more. In fact, they are beating down on Palworld because of its popularity and profit. That's why Palworld deserves the right to be on this list, and I'm putting it at top 2. It's not the best, but it's solid, and you guys might argue that fact, but you'll understand later when I'll expose the top 1 at the end of the video. But for now, let's go with a more conservative game, one that's been staying in Pokemon's shadow for a long time, Digimon. This game, while it is treated separately, goes really far for a game that's a Pokemon-like. It really deserves praise for how well it has done over the years, with a giant like Pokemon stealing their audience. Honestly, I'm even surprised this game still exists to this day. Game Freak is so conservative with their games that it would have been totally normal for them to try to bully Digimon, just like Palworld. But because of all their efforts over the years and how well they've done with Pokemon as a concurrent, I think Digimon deserves a solid top 3 spot, right next to Palworld. Now the next entry is more a couple of games from our community. Yes, fan games are on this list, and they deserve all the love we can get them. But I've chosen one specific fan game that I think represents the spirit of this genre, and it is Pokemon Insurgence. Now, while Pokemon fan games are actually based on the original games, make no mistake, they are on all points different. Insurgence is a good example since this game's plot gets out of hand really quickly, and it's not your regular childish story, and it plunges us into a dark and immersive experience with new forms called Delta forms that are clearly better than regional forms. Plus, the game is way more difficult than regular Pokemon entries, which makes it more entertaining. I think fan games at least deserve top 5 on this list, but when I say fan games, I'm omitting one singular fan game giant that you'll see later in the video. For now, let's focus on another game made by the Pokemon community, but it solves different issues, and it is Pokemon Gamma Emerald. I've already covered this game in a previous video, but to resume it, it's a fun, immersive remake of Pokemon Emerald that has way better graphics than any other official remake. This game deserves its own spot as top 4 because it proves the community how low effort Nintendo really is. Finally, we are at the point of the video you were all waiting for. What is the best Pokemon-like game out there? The answer is simple, a fan game many consider as revolutionary. It's so popular, it's got its own niche on YouTube. This game is Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Reasons are obvious why this game is awesome. It's just so fun to mix and match every Pokemon. Plus, they don't have any legal problems. Their game is simply free. It's the most funky and cool fan game that pops out like a sore thumb. And their concept kind of reminds me of Tears of the Kingdom's Fuse ability. And talking about Tears of the Kingdom, a new Zelda game just premiered not long ago, about 3 months ago. And I covered what's to know about it in this video, so go check it out.